Oh, this looks so good. I love his little hairdo. What sorcery is this? This would solve all your problems. This would clear your skin. This would clear your debt. Well, hello there and welcome back to another episode of Cocktails with Ciara. My name is Ciara and I'm a whiskey-loving Irish gal who's on a cocktail voyage of discovery. If you are new here, I have zero professional bar experience other than a passion for making mixed drinks at home and showing you how I do it. So hit that subscribe button, stick around, and we both just might learn something, because if I can do it, you can do it. So in today's video, we are going to be making a cocktail that has arguably the best name of all time, and it is also a cocktail that I have never made or tried before. So today we are going to be making a Suffering Bastard. So aside from having one of the greatest cocktail names of all time, a Suffering Bastard is actually a very highly praised cocktail. It is very popular and it has an incredible backstory. So before we get into the history of the Suffering Bastard and I show you how I make it at home for the first time, I would like to take a second to tell you about my Patreon. Not only is it a great way of supporting my channel, but you can also have access to exclusive content. You can join in on my monthly live stream with my Patreon community, and you can see the footage that is just too tipsy for YouTube. So without rambling on too much, let's get into the history of a Suffering Bastard. So just like some other cocktails that we've looked at here on this series, the Suffering Bastard was born in a great hotel. Just like the Singapore Sling was born in the Raffles Hotel in Singapore, and one of my favorites, the Vieux Carré, was born in the Hotel Monteleone in New Orleans. The Suffering Bastard was born in the Shepherd's Hotel in Cairo, Egypt in 1942. This was during the iconic hotel's heyday, roughly a decade before it was burned to the ground. So the cocktail itself was created by the hotel's famous bartender Joe Shalom, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and Joe created this cocktail as somewhat of a famous hangover cure for the troops of World War II. And legend says that the cocktail was so popular as a hangover cure and obviously so effective that the hotel was telegrammed and huge batches of it were ordered to be delivered directly to the front lines to the troops themselves. By 1960, the cocktail itself had become so popular that it was actually picked up by tiki culture, famously by Trader Vic, who changed the ingredients quite a bit, including the addition of rum, and the Suffering Bastard then had kind of a second life as a tiki drink. So there are a few different ways to make this drink and the ingredients do vary, but for today's video we are going to make a traditional Suffering Bastard. So now that I've given you a little bit of history on the Suffering Bastard, let's get into its ingredients. So given that this drink is hailed as a hangover cure, one would imagine that it packs quite a punch, and you would be right. This is one of the few cocktails that I can think of that combines both bourbon and gin. So for the bourbon, I'm going to be using some gorgeous Woodford Reserve. I absolutely adore this bourbon. And for my gin, I'm going to be using some Irish gin. I have some small batch Blackwater Irish gin here. I actually don't think I've ever made a cocktail with bourbon and gin together, so I'm very curious to see how these two work together. So along with our bourbon and our gin, we are going to use 15 mils of freshly squeezed lime juice. We are also going to be using a few dashes of angostura bitters. And then to finish off the drink, we are going to be topping with some ginger beer. I have some Fentimans here. I've tried this before. It's really nice. It's nice and spicy and packs a little bit of a kick, which I think is exactly what we're going to need for this drink. And then for our garnish, we are going to be adding a little sprig of mint. I have some beautiful Irish mint here, which I think is going to be perfect. So looking at all the ingredients together, I have to say it is a bit of a mixed bag. I definitely get the ginger beer addition. I know it's known for calming the stomach and it is already seen as a hangover cure, but like mint, ginger beer, bourbon, gin, angostura, and lime, I'm not sure how it's going to work together. So now that we have all of our ingredients, let's go ahead and make a Suffering Bastard. So for your glassware for this drink, you can use an old-fashioned glass, you can use a Collins highball, or you can use a tiki mug. So I have chosen this cutie little tiki mug, which I will link below. This one actually looks really, really similar to the tiki mug that Trader Vic served his Suffering Bastards in. I'll try and insert a picture of it here, but it looks like someone with a really long face who looks like they're suffering. So I feel like this is gonna work really well. All right, so we're gonna start by popping some ice into our shaker, and let's go ahead and start with our gin. 30 mils of our gin right into the shaker. Then we're gonna go ahead with the bourbon. Oh, it's Woodford Reserve. It's so good. I hope it doesn't get like overshadowed, because this is the kind of bourbon that you really want to shine in a drink. So I hope it doesn't get overpowered by everything. So we're going to do 15 mils of fresh lime juice, which I believe will be about 1 small lime. So then we're just going to go in with 2 dashes of angostura straight into the shaker. That was probably 2 and a bit. So let's go ahead and shake it up, and then we can strain it in. All right, so let's get this bastard into the glass. And obviously, because I've said bastard so many times, this is probably gonna be demonetized already, so I can just F and blind throughout the whole video if I want. So let's get this strained in. Our glass is full of ice. Beautiful. We're just gonna go ahead and top with some ginger beer. Oh, this looks so good. Right, let's get a nice jazzy sprig of mint from my assortment. I feel like I can feed this down the glass. Let's do what we usually do and wake up the mint. So we're gonna give it a nice clap. That was an okay clap. That wasn't my best. And then we'll feed her down. How exciting. It looks like he has like a jazzy hairdo or hat. Let's grab a nice red straw. Pop that down in there, and maybe I can coax my ice in. So our Suffering Bastard is complete. Despite looking quite jazzy, I love his little hairdo, it's actually a really quick and easy drink to make. And I would imagine if you were truly suffering, and to be honest, I know I say I don't get hangovers, but I have had some absolute belters of hangovers in my time, but it's when I've really pushed it. It's been like weddings, Irish weddings, if you can imagine. I feel like I need a go-to drink for that cure, and I don't have it yet. So maybe this will be my hangover cure. That's exciting. Well, there's only one way to find out, so if you will join me over on my cocktail chair, let's try a Suffering Bastard and see how he tastes. Okay, so I am back in my cocktail drinking chair, and I have my beautiful Suffering Bastard right here. I have to say, it looks very exciting. I'm loving the face. It does look like the face of someone who is suffering, and I'm ready to see if this will potentially ease any pain of a hangover. I'm so curious about this one. I honestly don't know what to expect, but cheers. Wow, you can't taste any alcohol. That is outrageous. What sorcery is this? All I'm getting is ginger beer. That's amazing. I know there are a couple of drinks out there that are really deceptive, like they're really sneaky. This could potentially be the sneakiest one I've ever tried. It's up there with a Mai Tai, which has like 3 different types of rum in it, and a Long Island iced tea, which has like 5 different types of alcohol, in how sneaky it is. I know I'm known for being able to drink battery acid and saying it tastes lovely, but this is very, very easy to drink despite how much alcohol is in it. So I definitely think it's one of those drinks that you have to try it to see for yourself. Because if you told me that I was going to drink something with bourbon and gin, I would have thought it just would have not worked together and been really harsh and just wrong. But this is very easy to drink. This would solve all your problems. This would clear your skin. This would clear your debt. Well, it probably wouldn't, but it's delicious. I do have to say that in thinking of this in terms of a hangover cure, I think it's got all the components. You know, it's a bit of a pick-me-up. There's a bit of sugar in there. You're getting a little bit of lime juice. You know, you're getting some fruit. You're getting a decent whack of alcohol. Like the measurements of both shots weren't huge, but I do think this would be the perfect pick-me-up if you were indeed suffering. Potentially if you were like me after an Irish wedding where you stayed up until 5 drinking whiskey by the fire. So yeah, I have to say, despite having somewhat low expectations for this drink, it has completely blown me away. I'm very, very impressed. I really want to try this in a cocktail bar. I want to see how other people make it, and I'm definitely going to try it hungover and see if it does the trick. So it's that point in the video where I get to sit back, enjoy my cocktail, and answer some questions from my Patreon community. So I have a question here from the lovely Sam Fuller, and Sam asks, what's your favorite try video? Sam, that is a very good question. Let me just take a sip. There are so many videos that I have absolutely loved being in. To be honest, I love all of them. I have such crack in every video I'm in. In terms of the one that maybe got the most reaction, I would say the America's Strongest Alcohol, which was about maybe 2 years ago now at this point, which I still get, you know, comments about to this day. But one of the ones that was probably the most fun to be in, oh my gosh, I've shot a couple that are due to come out that are just like crying laughing. They were so funny. But I have to say, the ones where I get to push people off chairs is probably my favorite. So I would probably say I think it was Connecticut Sodas with Dermot, only because I pushed him off his chair. It's probably my favorite. So I hope you enjoyed watching me make and try a Suffering Bastard cocktail for the first time. It is safe to say that it is a hangover cure that I really think you should check out. If you're watching this and you're indeed suffering with a hangover, it is definitely something I'll be making again. I do find the idea of cocktails as hangover cures very interesting. So if you have a particular cocktail that is your hangover cure, maybe it's the Suffering Bastard, maybe it's another one, let me know in the comments, because I would like to do a dedicated section on, you know, supposed hangover cures, and I'd like to try them for myself. So let me know in the comments which one you would like to see me make next. If you liked this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more easy cocktails that you can make at home, I will link a playlist up here. And if you have not already, then be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every single week, and I would love to have you back for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on my next one. Cheers!